Hello. It's hard to believe that only 5 weeks ago today, we were celebrating Ash Wednesday in this place. And our church, St. Robert of Newminster, was so busy. We had 3 services during the day. People came and began Lent. They were receiving ashes. And throughout the whole day, from before sunrise till late at night, the Eucharistic chapel was open, ashes were present, people were coming, beginning their Lent, they were imposing ashes on their own foreheads. I would stop in and see mothers bringing their children, signing them all with ashes on their forehead only 5 weeks ago. And here I am today in this place, as it has been practically day after day, empty. Few people coming for an occasional visit, but how different it is. We're so much apart from one another. But are we really apart? You know, the Trappist monk, famous Trappist monk, Thomas Merton, some of you might know the name. Thomas Merton was a prolific author of books on spirituality, on contemplation. He spent so many years of his life in the Trappist monastery named Gethsemane in Kentucky. Now, if you know anything about the Trappists, their formal name is really Cistercians of the strict observance, and their life is of strict observance. They're the ones who rarely speak, and they live their lives inside the monastery walls. Their lives are lives of work and of study and of prayer. Well, Thomas Merton, later in his life, even though he had lived those years in the monastery, he asked the abbot if he could build a hermitage on the outskirts, not outside the monastery, but on kind of the away from the main building, kind of in the monastery grounds, so that he could be even apart from the other monks praying and writing in solitude. But Thomas Merton never saw himself apart from anyone else. He didn't see himself apart from the other monks or apart from the rest of the world. In fact, he was so engaged in the world, even as he lived in the monastery. He knew what was going on in the world. He wrote letters to people, and he prayed for them. In fact, he would say and write and say that he was more part of the world in that monastery than many other people were in our world today. What does it mean to be apart? We're called to be socially distant from one another during these days. That's a phrase that we hear a lot. Keep 6 feet away from one another. You know, be careful how we congregate, all those kinds of things. But even as we're socially distant, we don't need to be spiritually distant. We can be close to one another in prayer. As St. Paul writes in the first letter to the Ephesians, and as he so often says, I give thanks for you, and I pray for you constantly. We can be praying for one another throughout our days and in our lives and be spiritually joined. Father Stephen and I, we have Mass every day. Our number one prayer is always for the people of this parish, who we hold up in prayer, asking God's blessing upon you. We hope that you're praying for us. We try to communicate with you. I hope you find your way to the parish website now and again. I continue to write columns in the bulletin and offer you some spiritual nourishment. My homilies continue to be recorded and posted in our parish on our parish website. I hope you maybe go and you watch the Mass from the cathedral on Sunday, or maybe find Mass on one of the other good sites, EWTN or Bishop Barron's Mass. We're planning on live streaming Mass on Easter Sunday. We're hoping for 11 o'clock, working on that. But it's a way that we can be joined with one another. We join with one another in prayer. And so maybe we could just pray together, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, And forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And to our Blessed Mother, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Watch over us, protect us from all evil, and Lord, bring us to that time when we can be not only spiritually with one another, but socially with one another in the same space once again. God's blessing on all of you.